Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to Tuesday Talks at 3. We had taken a break and I'm so happy to be here. My name is Lucy, your clarity coach, and this is Tuesday Talks at 3. So good to be back here. I have taken a break, and during my break I have allowed myself to rest. Much as I talk so much here about me time, I put it to the test. And that's a story for another day, because there's quite a bit that I was challenged with, quite a bit I was convicted by, and I'd love to share that story on another day. For this day today, I'd like to welcome you to our series that is called Adaptability and Change Management. In the kind of life that we're living today, we are faced with volatility, uncertainty. We are faced with complexity. We are faced with things that we really do not understand at times. They are not clear. And we are called upon as individuals to put our best foot forward, as it may be, to move on. You know, it is said that change is inevitable. Change is happening all around us. I mean, whether you like it or not, whether you want to join onto the gravy train, whether you want to drop off the train, the choice is yours. The beautiful thing about being a human being is being able to exercise the power of choice. So though change is inevitable and we cannot argue with that, there's one thing for sure which is intentional, and that is growth. So in the face of change, you can choose to grow or you can choose to stay in the same place. If beginning of this year you were in a certain place and today you find yourself still in that same place, then that is something you need to question. Was this intentional that you chose to be in the same place? Or did life happen and whatever intention that you have literally was swept away by the tide of life? It is safe to say then that if you are looking to self-improve and change from that season to the other, that day to the other, 1 year to another, you need to be intentional. And to be intentional means that you actually have a plan. You have an idea of what you want to do, so you've spelled it out. Therefore, there's no ambiguity. There's only clarity. You're coming from a place of clarity. Well, in the Adaptability and Change Management series, I am bringing you 4 episodes, and these 4 episodes are going to help you. They're actually designed to help you grow your mindset, to grow your intentionality in the face of this volatile life, which is in both our personal lives and in our professional lives, because we keep on balancing one or the other. And for those of us who have got the sweet spot, we're able to merge them and get a sense of fulfillment. So as the 4 episodes go, I'm just going to read them out for you. And the first one is today's, where we're going to be looking at embracing a growth mindset for continuous learning. Because this is key. When we look at our growth, that means certain things need to change. And you need to bring up a growth mindset through intentional learning. Just think about that. Anything that you know today, you've learned one way or the other. Why not make it intentional? The second episode is going to be around how to develop strategies to cope with change and uncertainty. So just as change is inevitable, uncertainty also comes along, because there are certain times you've got no idea what is happening. And yet, you still need to show up. You still need to do your thing and be you. So in that face of uncertainty, we're going to be looking at that in our second episode. In our third episode, we're going to be looking at fostering adaptability in the face of unexpected changes. Changes will always happen, but now we're talking about challenges. Those changes are coming together with challenges. That will be our third episode. And to close off this series of adaptability and change management, we'll be talking about leading and navigating through the periods of change. It's interesting that we all talk about change being inevitable, But very rarely do we take time to understand what change is happening in our lives, to honor it and be able to just jump on there and do something. So I'm hoping that these 4 episodes will help you to grow intentionally in this volatile marketplace in both your personal and your professional life. Well, we're off to our first episode of this series, and the question is, what are you currently intentionally growing in? What are you currently intentionally growing in? And to help us answer this question, we'll be looking at 3 ways that will hopefully send you off on a very good journey of growing and progressing your mindset. The first one that we look at is challenging assumptions. Assumptions. If we challenge assumptions, we are giving ourselves, or rather opening up ourselves to that possibility of there could be something else. Or maybe this assumption, once challenged, could actually end up being nothing. We're opening up ourselves to this possibility that there is more than what we believe. And towards that, I would ask you a very direct question. Are there any beliefs or assumptions that you hold, yes, you, that you hold about yourself or your abilities that might be limiting your growth? And let me just give you some examples to put some context into this question. You could be saying to yourself, I do not have what it takes. And by the way, I have been there as your coach, I have been there. So maybe you're thinking, I do not have what it takes, and therefore I can't take the first step. Think of that mountain, and you're taking the first step to conquer it, and there will be very many steps thereafter. But you've already stopped yourself. You've limited yourself, and you've already decided and told your brain that you do not have what it takes. Maybe you say to yourself, or you've heard yourself say, I need more time. Well, this is a spoiler alert. We only have 24 hours in a day. We've always had 24 hours in a day, and we will always have 24 hours in a day. We're not bending time by increasing. We are bending time by utilizing the time that we have intentionally. So let's just revisit that. I need more time. Have you heard yourself say you need more time? Well, I'll tell you what, if you'd like to share with us your experience, all you have to do is click that little button there that has got the picture of the camera, and then you can come on here and we can just engage for less than 30 seconds as to how and what it is you've been telling yourself, which is limiting your abilities to grow. So we've talked about I do not have what it takes. Secondly, I do not have, or I need more time. And the last one was the one that really paralyzed me for the longest time until I had a come to me moment, which was the finances are not enough. Well, the finances will never be enough. But this limited me from reaching my potential or even taking that first step. So I challenged these assumptions. That I do not have what it takes, I challenged it. That I need more time, I challenged it. That the finances are not enough, I challenged it. And you know what? One word came up, resources. And therefore, by default, resourcefulness. I started to look at what it was that I had and figured out what I can do with it. Many of you know my story, that I have been in the hospitality industry in the positions of sales and marketing for over 30 years. And then life happened and I needed to change or repurpose my life. And this is the time when I started having these things that were limiting me, because we're going to talk about it in a moment. I had a comfort zone. I knew how to do what I was doing without any prompting. I was motivated to wake up every day, and I would have continued doing it, I believe, for the rest of my life. But then life happened. And when life happened, I began to see that I could repurpose. However, when I stepped into the world of repurposing, I started to say to myself, I do not have what it takes. There are those who've been here before me. I need more time, because I just figured the time that I had was not enough. The finances were never enough. Well, today they're still not enough, but guess what? I'm here before you and we are sharing. Njoki Kinywa, thank you so much for your contribution. Setting and maintaining boundaries to ensure people understand what line not to cross. So true when we are challenging ourselves. And I absolutely love that contribution because it helps us to grow and progress our mindset. And Joki, if you would like to come on the screen now and we'd have a chat, you're most welcome. Just click on the video icon there and I will accept and we can have a chat. So just continuing on that thought process. My next question is, because the first one was, are there any beliefs or assumptions that hold you back? The next question is, how can you challenge these assumptions and adopt a more open mindset? How can you challenge them? Well, the first thing is understanding what they are. So if you say you don't have what it takes, what is it that you're saying you don't have? List it. And you'll be very surprised to realize that you actually have. Some things you have them 10%, some of them you have 20%, another you have 100%. Well, take a stock of what it is that you have and be resourceful with what you have, because at that level there's something that you can do towards your bigger purpose. And as you continue to do it and practice, you keep on practicing, those numbers just keep on rising. Those percentages begin to make sense. And you'll be speaking off the cuff. It'll come to that moment because suddenly you will have what it takes. And surprisingly, you're going to be questioning yourself. What was I doing? Why did I wait so long? And that you need more time. This is where the bending of time comes in. And Joki says it so well. Setting and maintaining boundaries to ensure people understand what line not to cross. That means you get things done. You are focused. And you've already communicated this to your community, to your tribe, to anybody who is engaging with you. So they understand this is the line that I will not cross. This is how much I will bring to the table. Oh, it takes away so much ambiguity in this volatile life that we live in. So these are some of the things that you can adopt to be more open mindset. And now we need to be shifting our perspective because that's one thing that works. So if we are moving from I do not have what it takes to using resourcefulness, we would then be saying something more different. I have enough to start. I have enough to start does something to your brain, to that creative brain of yours. We call it the amygdala or the lizard brain. The minute that you change your narrative from I do not have what it takes to I have enough to start. When you say I need more time and that shifts to I will use the time that I have to do this, or the finances are not enough. I am resourceful enough to start this. Whatever your statement is, look for it. Look for a positive outset, for a positive shift to your language, and therefore encourage you to shift your perspective. View challenges as an opportunity for growth rather than an obstacle, because where you're focusing is where your energy will flow. So if we focus on having enough time, or I can start with what I have, guess what? It's so much easier for you to put one step in front of the other. Because we start off with thoughts and then they become emotions, they become words, and they become actions. And then they become us because then it is a habit. So why not make a choice? Like I said, being a human being, choice is a beautiful thing that we have. We just need to exercise choice and pick the positive outcome. Because life will happen. And you are the constant. You get to choose how to live in this space. So shift your perspective. And that is what we are doing when it comes to challenging assumptions. Well, the second one is seeking feedback. So even as you're challenging your assumptions, why not seek feedback? Because when you seek feedback, it's like you're getting a 360-degree outlook on who you are. You can only see what is ahead of you. When you seek feedback, you are asking people to look at you from all angles. So my question to you is, how comfortable are you with receiving this feedback? Because it is one thing to say, seek feedback, but maybe you're not ready. So today, it could be an action plan for you to start allowing your mind to consider feedback and to consider feedback as an element of growth, because remember, we are growing and we are progressing our mindsets. And we can only do this when we have, just like a driver, the rear view mirror or side mirrors to help us to move on. You know, when we're being given feedback and it points out to areas of improvement, the Kenyanese way that we refer to at this point is catching feelings, because we end up catching feelings because somebody has pointed out something about us that we're not happy to hear. But embracing this allows growth to happen, because it could be a good thing. Let's do a small exercise right now. I want you on a piece of paper or on your phone, whatever gadget you're using, your laptop, your computer, and I want you to write down 3 people's names, and these people should not be related. So if one is a close relative, then the next one perhaps is a work colleague. And the third one could be somebody in your religious groups, or somebody that you work out with in the gym, or somebody that you actually partake in a hobby. 3 people who are not related at all. Just write down those names. Take a moment now and think about these 3 individuals. And at the back of your mind, of course, you know now we're going to ask them for feedback. So here is the guidance. I want you to ask each person to describe you, yes, you, to describe you in 3 words. In 3 words, not 2 words together, in 3 words. So are you carefree? Are you angry? Are you fulfilled? Are you resourceful? Those kind of words. So just to describe you in 3 words, and let me tell you what's going to happen. When you get this feedback, some of it is going to surprise you, or some of it you're going to feel like you're misunderstood, and it's going to get you so angry. Other words are going to validate you. You're going to feel that, wow, okay, I knew that all along. And that gives you an opportunity to work on those words that are validating you, and just see the why. Just ask yourself, why does this validate me, and how do I show up? For the surprises, take a moment and reflect and ask this individual, why do you think that I am a creative person? Or why do you believe I'm a pessimist? Ask, so that you're seeking to understand where this person is coming from. This is a 360-degree look at to who you are, because this is our second one. We are seeking feedback. Our objective here is to grow and progress our mindset. And therefore, feedback is very key. Don't catch feelings. Take it as something that is growth. So how can you then cultivate a mindset that sees feedback as an opportunity for growth rather than criticism? That's a personal question. Why am I feeling criticized? Why am I feeling pointed out or picked up on? Why am I feeling like somebody's putting me down? They're not. It is the way you are responding. It's the meaning that you're giving to the feedback. So I encourage you to embrace your discomfort. This just means that you lean into situations that push you out of your comfort zone. This was really difficult for me, like I said. When I repurposed my skill, that means I was picking things that I was good at in a previous life and applying them in my life today. And I'm here today speaking with you. You would never have caught me dead on a screen like this speaking. I would be so embarrassed. I would be doubting my knowledge. I would be waiting for somebody to call me a fraud. But today I am here. The confidence that comes with the learning that I am getting every day when I put myself out there was me stepping out of my comfort zone, and I'm better for it. So, as you often lead to the most personal and professional growth areas of your life, you will find your confidence is growing. So definitely embracing your discomfort. Joki, you say, I think it depends on how the feedback is delivered. Yes, it does. But remember, it also depends how the feedback is being received. You have no control over what somebody else is saying, but you've asked them for feedback. So they're giving you the 3 words. You welcomed them into this world, Joki. So you are looking at this feedback. Now you have to use your mindset, whether fixed or growth mindset, how you want to receive this feedback. Or don't ask for it from the beginning. Otherwise, we will find ourselves in the Kenyanese movement of catching feelings. Criticism, we love criticism when it comes to matters of growth. So if we take away the emotions and listen to the word itself and ask, seek to understand, why are you describing me with this word? What about this word makes you feel that I actually embody it? It helps you to grow, Njoki. So embrace your discomfort. Even as they're giving you this feedback, they could be coming from a very dark place, but how you receive it matters. The meaning that you give to that feedback matters. If your objective is to grow and progress your mind. So thank you so much, Njoki, for being here with me, sharing this time with me. The third one is embracing failure. Remember, we're looking at how to grow and progress your mindset. And the first one was challenging your assumptions. The second one was about seeking feedback. And now we're looking at embracing failure. My question to you then is, how do you view failure? Do you view failure as an identity, that you are the failure? Is it something that you wear either on your forehead or on your sleeve and walk around that you're a failure? Do you see it as a setback? And here comes again the mindset that shifts. Or do you see it as a stepping stone towards success? Let me explain myself. Something may happen in your life today and you have already set yourself out to do something, and then life happens. Crisis management sets in. The volatility of life sets in. And then you do not achieve this objective or this goal, and you figure out that you have failed. Indeed, the goal has failed. But guess what? That journey that you took as you embarked towards this goal, there were some learnings there. And maybe you tripped, you fell, you slipped, you stopped, you dreaded yourself, or you were even ready to quit. But that doesn't make you a failure unless you choose to call yourself a failure. This makes you somebody in the running to be on that stepping stone towards success. If you did it yesterday and it didn't work in this way, today you're going to do it in a different way. You're shifting your perspective. You're embracing that discomfort of something that didn't work yesterday. And Njoki, you say to me, this is a perfect takeaway. It does not matter how the information is given. It matters how you receive it. Exactly, Njoki. Exactly. It is their prerogative how they choose to speak to you and give you feedback. It is your prerogative how you choose to receive it. You have asked for this feedback because you want to grow and progress your mindset. You can even engage this person in a conversation to understand further, and you will actually see that their approach to giving you the feedback will begin to shift. And you know what? They may ask you to give them feedback and maybe just describe them in 3 words. And I do wish this is what would happen as just a circle and a chain of events. So celebrating progress as you're on this journey is key. Focus on the journey of improvement rather than solely on the end goal, because that is when you will start to identify as a failure. But if you look at all the incremental things that have happened along the journey, so much to learn. You may never reach the end of the goal, but you're definitely on the journey. You could be on step 1 today or step 100 today. Whatever it is an experience. And if today you were called as a speaker about your journey, you have something to talk about. You're hopeful that you will get to the end of your journey, but for now, you know, me and my people, this is where we are. I hope that is making a lot of sense. You need to acknowledge and celebrate the small victories along the way. And as we come to the end of our session today, we have covered 3 ways to explore and grow your mindset. 3 very simple ways that you can grow and explore and actually help your mindset move from a fixed to a growth mindset. just shifting that perspective is very important. So the areas that we looked at were challenging your assumptions. Just because you think you don't have enough time, or you don't have what it takes, or you don't have enough finances, doesn't mean that you cannot shift and start today. Let it not stop you. Seek feedback, Njoki. Even if they're saying it to you in a way that is not pleasing to you, take the feedback and keep it moving. Embrace failure as a stepping stone to success. And as always, I give you my 3 takeaways. And today's 3 takeaways in progressing your mindset are: shift your perspective. Speak different words in your head. Embrace your discomfort. Because when you embrace your discomfort, it means you're giving yourself permission to step out of your comfort zone and learn something new. Again, your mindset. And celebrate progress. Look at that journey and see how far you've come. And let that be the pivotal focus of your conversation, not what you have not achieved. Well, the recording of this episode will be available on our YouTube channel, LMC Consultancy, by the end of this evening. Hop on there and subscribe for updates on our next sessions and anything that is happening here at LMC Consultancy. Our social media platforms, in the meantime, continue to educate you. Please find us on Instagram right here as Lucy_your clarity coach, on Facebook as Lucy_your clarity coach, on LinkedIn as Lucy Macredis, on TikTok as clarity coach Lucy. Well, have you listened to season 1 of our Skillful She podcast? Well, we've covered 3 episodes there in that season 1, and season 2 is loading. So check out our highlights on our Instagram for the opportunity to do so, or DM me right now. DM me for your 3 links, and I'll be so happy to share them with you. Make sure that you join us. The sessions are only 5 minutes each, and you can do it when you're out walking, you can do it when you're driving, you can do it when you're washing up the dishes, you can do it when you're just settling down with a cup of tea. Let us help build each other. And thank you so much, Njoki, for keeping me company. Hope to see you next week. Until then, be kind to yourself. Bye-bye now.